Hi, it's Polly with Get Busy Thriving, and today we're going to talk about atomic actions, those little micro habits, those little micro moments that really can move mountains and can have you getting up to things where you were stopped, where you were stuck, things that you've been putting off because they seem too big. You know, in my eating disorder recovery days, my coaching was around small wins, atomic actions. There's a book out there called Atomic Habits. It's about creating these little micro things that you do, actions, habits, disciplines, rituals that move you towards a goal, who you want to be, a lifestyle change that you want, right? And it's about breaking it down. So I've talked a little bit, I think, in our course about habits, and it's like, make it small at first, right? Like, just do one thing, like just get your shoes on and walk out the door and then come back, right? Sometimes that feels a little silly, but it really is. This week I want you guys to learn, okay, if there's something new that you're stuck in or something that you want to have moving you towards your goal, like Piper, if it's organizing your house, or if it's somebody wants to work on introducing meditation and quiet time or stillness, or whatever you want to start writing, whatever it is. So we're going to pick something for yourself this week and then just listen from that standpoint. So I want to remind you that last week what you guys were working on is, what were you doing to create sacred space for yourself? Were you like building in some quiet time? From Melissa, just like getting up and heading out the door right away, like giving yourself that stillness, that quiet time. I posted on Instagram yesterday, I think it was, about sacred space in our home and our life is really in the end is about sacred time with us. So I hope you guys did that, and so share that tonight, and I'll give you guys an outline. But so let me go into atomic actions or small wins, and don't make them like they're small, like they're micro moments of you showing up for you. Okay, so it actually starts to build like unstoppable momentum because it shifts your identity, and we'll go into that. So this week, as you're practicing these atomic actions, it's momentum over motivation. It's like, yeah, even if you don't feel like it, and all that monkey mind, right? It's like momentum, like starting to get momentum, and you'll see this. So tiny shifts, little small wins, it builds trust with yourself. Like you start to see yourself, like the way that the mind works is as you do these micro habits, these micro moments with yourself, the brain goes, oh, this is who we are. This is what we do now, right? And the brain actually wires for things that you do consistently, tying your shoes, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, putting your clothes on, right? It's just like, it puts it into that subconscious. It's like, oh, I get dressed every day. Wow. Like going somewhere, making some food, whatever it is, whatever you do each day, it starts to build that consistency. So the brain goes, okay, I got it, locked and loaded, right? So what you're doing is you're installing this neural association, neural pathways, like, yeah, this is who I am, right? Try this with a goal that you have that's moving you towards like who you want to be in the world, or maybe it has to do with this project that you guys are on. And I don't know if you can take this on like is there a daily habit that you could do towards your real estate, your mogulness, your investments, or your home? Maybe, but otherwise, look at something in your life that has been stuck or you've been wanting to do and it feels too big. And what we're going to do is break it down. So following through is not getting it perfect. I have a dear friend, love her to death. I learned so much from her. We were in a mastermind for years, and there was a period where she was going through a health journey, and she had this long list of things that she wanted to do every day. It looked long to me anyway. I was probably doing 3/4 of it, but like it was new for her. Like drink a certain amount of water, take her supplements, go for a walk, whatever, sleep a certain amount of hours. Like this was her list. And she'd have these, and so there's things out there called habit trackers, which are awesome. So if you want to put this into your journal somewhere, put it on your wall, it's great for this, right? Because your brain loves to see the little check marks. So she would do this. And I would say in 30 days, like the first couple of weeks was just chaos. Like, she'd do it like once or whatnot, like how often she was getting consistent about it. And she never gave up, right? So it's about following through even when it's not perfect, like you're building that muscle, you're building that neuroassociation in your mind. Is like, this is what we do. So inside that, the author of the book Atomic Habits, good book, like it's like the modern day, about habits and things like that. James Clear, he says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems, or what you do repeatedly, right? Like the example of like what you have in your life and who you are is what you do consistently, right? And it's built upon what you say about yourself. So let's create a new identity. So, and I find this for myself. I've been looking at what atomic habit, what atomic actions can I have this week? And I'll go over that. But like big goals that we have can feel overwhelming, especially to our brain. It's like, oh my God, how can I do that? And I'm looking for myself. One of the things is in these next 30 days and more is sharing my program, my, Return to the Light that's going live in December, like just sharing it. And I've been making the excuse that I'm so bogged down in this and I've got all this other stuff. It's like, I'm not over here sharing it, right? So I'm going to look at where I can have like little micro habits, micro actions to share it. Like stop putting it off like, oh, it's so big. I've got to, make so many phone calls or talk to so many people. Okay, break that down. So where in your life do you have something that maybe feels overwhelming that you can use for this? So something that happens in your brain, I just want to share with you. So when you do these, I used to call them small wins, right? Like building that self-trust muscle, especially for, I notice, and Jill, this may ring true for you, my eating disorder days, like, I'd have this loop of like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. And then I'd do it. And then I'd like, I'm not going to do it. Right. And I just like eroded the trust with myself. So is there an area of your life? Is there something that you want to rebuild that trust with yourself? Because damn, that identity and integrity, they're like, oh, it's amazing how when we do what we say we're going to do and when we don't, we clean it up. Like, man, we can restore integrity with ourselves. Like rebuild that self-trust. So I encourage you to look at like small wins, because that little competence, boost that you get, like, I did that, right? Like your brain goes like, okay, I can do this, right? And then I chose this, like autonomy, like, wow, I like carved out time and I did what I said I was going to do. Like I'm in charge here. Like what I say happens. And momentum, it's like, oh, like, and surprisingly, that wasn't too hard. Like I got this. And you start to build the momentum of this is what we do. And oftentimes with habits, it's like, you just got to get the train tracks installed, like you're over here doing all these things. It's like, let me get this train tracks installed. And so this consistency of little micro moments can help build that, and then you can go faster and faster. So, it's not about willpower, like doing big things or, eventually big things. I'm not saying big things every day, because that's where that fear factor of your mind will step in, but it's not leaving yourself to willpower. Like when, oh, wouldn't it be nice when I have willpower or feel motivated, right? It's just wiring it in. It's like, this is what we do now. And so when you show up consistently, like you do it, every day, you're just pounding on that. Like you brush your teeth, I'm guessing every day. You shower every day or most every day, whatever you eat, like that just shows, like those are your consistent actions that, introduce that it's achievable. Like, yeah, this is who I am. And your brain, rewards you with a little bit of dopamine, like, woohoo, I did that, like small wins. And like you being like, look at me, right? So I'm going to share with you a couple of things. So the 2-minute rule, and then this downsizing, right? Okay, so there's this myth out there, like, we don't fail because our goal is wrong. It's because the first step sometimes can feel too big, like, how in the hell? And especially if we look at the long-term thing, like, like for example, I've got a new long-term goal for next June, and it's like, how am I going to get to that? Never done that before. And if I look at the whole thing, I was like, may not want to do that, right? We just like back it up. It's like, what could build sustainable success to that, right? Like, what are the little micro things, the smallest possible step that if you take it consistently, like, oh yeah, if I do this, okay, yeah, that thing that I want, if it's like, what if you saved, like 50 cents a day or whatever, $100 a week or whatever, but like something micro that you can do. So the 2-minute rule, this is something from that book, Atomic Habits, and James Clear. So every new habit should take less than 2 minutes to do. If it takes longer, it's too big. That's his words. So how he says to do it is you do this 5x downsizing. Okay, so, so start thinking about something, or pause this and listen to it later. Is like, what is something that you're wanting to get up to that, like it seems like a big thing, or it's something you've been wanting to incorporate into your life, but you just haven't done it because, how am I going to carve out time for it? So pick one thing that you're avoiding or procrastinating or wish to do or are stuck in an area. And what's a 2-minute version of that action? Just 2 minutes. Like how could you break it down into 2 minutes? And if it's more than 2 minutes, cut it in half. Okay, is it 2 minutes now? No. Okay, keep cutting it in half, right? And like keep cutting it in half to like 5x, like bam, 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 until it feels like it's almost silly. Like there's no way I could fail at that. Like, yeah, I can totally get my shoes out of the closet, put my shoes on, and walk out the door. Like that would take me 2 minutes. Okay, then do that consistently for 7 days, right? So some examples are like, okay, I want to write a book. All right, well then open up your laptop and write 3 words every day, right? Just start like, okay, I did that. I said I was going to do that. I did that. And then next week you can build and whatever. But get some micro action in place. And the goal is not to finish the task. It's about showing up, like, look, I did that. Look, I did that. And get that dopamine hit and start wiring that. Like, you build that identity-based trust with yourself. It's like, yeah, I said I was going to do that, and I did that, right? All right, so that's the 2 minute. So like break something down from big into 2 minutes and follow that action. Now let's talk about anchoring it, right? So the other thing about habits, if you can find it anchored up against to something else that's already existing, that you already do, like people brush their teeth, let's just say every morning or every night, and then stick on flossing to that, right? Like when I brush my teeth, then I floss. When I brush my teeth, then I floss. When I have my coffee, then I write in my journal. When I open up my laptop, then I look at my action items list, like boom, 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 stick, put those two things together. So to make it stick, tie it to something you're already doing every day. It's called habit anchoring. So if you make your tea, you write in your journal. If you get out of the shower, you floss. You whatever, you do something, put on some skincare. I don't know what your thing is. Put on sunscreen if you're not wearing sunscreen, something like that. So tying it to something you're already doing. That automatic thing that you're already doing, the tea, the journal, opening up your laptop, whatever, that's the trigger to start the new thing. So just showing up, complete that small task, feel good, repeat, and then build confidence, build momentum. And then you can expand the effort. Then you can expand the amount of time that you do it. Then it begins to restructure and reinforce a new identity. Like I'm a flosser, right? Or, I'm a journaler, or I'm a writer, or I'm a meditator, or something, right? So this week, your mission is to choose one atomic action and make it feel impossible to skip. It's like, of course I would do that. And anchor it to something you already do, and then track your streak. Like, your brain loves to see little check marks on things. Even if you just get a little post-it out and go like Monday through Sunday, like do, I did it, and just show up and see what happens. So bonus, if you start to slip, if you miss a day, miss a couple days, just get right back on track. Just like I'm doing this, right? Like my friend Jen, who had that thing, she had 30 days. I was like, choo. She had 3 days in a row, and then it didn't happen, whatever. But by the end of it, the momentum was so great. Like she was in action. And I would say truly for that level of habit change, tracking all that, that's more like a 60-day window I would give yourself. And if your mind is like, look, you didn't do it, you're not that, good luck, you've tried this before, just is it simple enough? Are you making it overly complex? And don't beat yourself up if you didn't do it once, 2, 3 days. Even if you didn't do it all, you said, I said I was going to do that. Okay, do you need some more structure to remind you? Can you attach it to something else? Do you need accountability? What does that look like, right? So make something super simple, get the reward from the dopamine hit of like, yeah, I did that, right? And like celebrate that when you do it, right? Sometimes we just go, oh yeah, done, right? And let go of the inner critic that's like, you didn't do it consistently. Yeah, so what? All right, I'm showing up here every day. Like, like there was a time when you were little where you didn't walk every day, and you tried walking one day and the next day you just crawled all day, and the next day you crawled all day, and you're like, I think I'm gonna try that walking thing again. Oh, look at me, right? And guess what? You didn't give up on walking, did you? Because you're walking. So that's how it works. So it's reinforcing a new identity within yourself. So make it something that's moving you in the direction of who you want to be, something you want to become, like a habit that serves you, a healthy habit, something that reinforces something inside of you for you, just because you. All right, atomic actions. Get up to it.